Paul, day 4 washed out in the end. Actually, it rained almost immediately afterwards. That call had been made. But what were the discussions during the day about how likely we were to get any play today?
Well, I think you've got, Yorkshire obviously very keen to get out and play, and if we were in their situation, we'd be doing exactly the same. And Otis and I were chatting at the end there about the fact that things had improved as the day had gone on. Ground staff had worked brilliantly well, and Yorkshire obviously were keen to get on. I mean, they'd fancy half an hour and giving it a good go. So it was one of those days that if it had been 240, 250 to win, it probably would have been gone home by lunchtime. But the umpires have done a great job, ground staff have done a great job, and everyone's tried to get the game on, which is what we should be doing. I mean, county cricket is about playing. It's not about sitting in changing rooms. And look, we were on the wrong end of potentially the day, but you just never know in county cricket, do you? We turned up yesterday and we were in the pound seat. We were the team in the ascendancy. By the end of the day, Yorkshire played really well and got themselves into a great position. So, that they justifiably wanted to stay as long as they could, and I would be doing exactly the same in their situation.
So 11 points for Sussex from the game, 9 for Yorkshire. Given the way Sussex were sort of ahead for 2.5 days, does that feel like a fair result, or have Yorkshire been robbed?
Well, if I was Yorkshire going on the bus, I'd be saying we've been robbed. You need 60 odd to win. You got 7 wickets in hand. You win the game, don't you, from that situation? So if I was them going home, I would feel as though, I've been robbed. It would feel like they've had a tough start. A defeat to Leicester in the first game in a great run chase. They've not bowled a ball at Bristol, and then they've come here and been robbed by the rain again. Would be their view, and I'd have a lot of sympathy for them. They've got a lot of good people in that team and a lot of good players, and I feel sorry for them going home tonight. But that's the nature of sport sometimes. It's something we could have done. Our ground staff have worked incredibly hard all day to get the game on, as they should do. And we said to the ground staff this morning, even though we're on the wrong end of it, work as hard as you can, do what you can, and if we get on and it doesn't work for us, so be it. I mean, yesterday Yorkshire deserved to be in that position because they had a really, really good day. Their partnership at the end, Ben Code played brilliantly, and got them to within 60 runs. You would like to think that 60 runs you'd be in a good position. If you can get to 40 without loss, 100 in front, we were thinking if we can get 250 lead, we're in a really, really good position going into the last day. But they bowled brilliantly, and we had another daft run out at the start. Backing up. That's 3 times for Ali now in about 5 innings. So that's frustrating. And Yorkshire bowled and caught really well, and they put themselves into a really good position. Lythy showed all his quality. He's played for England. He's a high quality player in county cricket. Shea Hope batted with him, the great partnership. I think 98, 99, and they put themselves into a position to win the game. And if we played on last night, they probably would have won the game. But that's the nature of the game. What I'm pleased about is that we've played 2 really top sides in Durham and Yorkshire, and we've got a win and a draw. And for a lot of this game, we have been on top in the game. And I'm really pleased with the fight that we've shown. I'm really pleased with the skill levels, but it's really great that we can compete with 2 top sides, with excellent bowling attacks. I mean, they're both Division 1 bowling attacks. They're both Division 1 teams. And for us who've only won 1 game a year in the last 3 years, to beat one and draw with one, all right, a little bit fortuitously today, but I think we've shown that we're a team that are capable of beating good sides, and we're capable of playing good cricket ourselves, which is really encouraging after 2 games.
2 particular standout performances in Tom Alsop's 95 and then Jack Carson's 5 foot. A word on those 2?
Well, I think Alsop's a fantastic player. I always have done. I had the pleasure of working with Tom in the first ever North-South series, funnily enough, against Otis, as I was coach of the South, Otis was coach of the North, out in Dubai. And I've always thought of Tom to be an excellent player. So when I saw Tom had joined Sussex last year, I thought that was a great signing for the club, and he's proved so far that since I've been here, I think he's an outstanding cricketer. He's someone that will captain our championship side when Pudgy's not available, and I expect him to go on to be a club captain for quite some time to come. I think he's an outstanding cricketer, really good cricket brain, but he showed a real high quality class, I thought, with the bat in the first innings and played really well.
And Carson?
Carson, outstanding. I love Carson. I just think every team should have a Jack Carson. He's competitive, fiery, he's skillful, And he missed a lot of cricket last year with some injuries. No surprise that he got picked for England Lions in the winter. No surprise that he did really well. And England Lions really enjoyed him as a cricketer and as a bloke. And he's the sort of bloke that we need in our team, because he leads in the front. He's a competitor, and the spin's changed. We've talked a lot in the last few weeks with Jack about the fact that first innings it was about maybe going for 2.5 and over, and then as the game goes on and the wickets start to deteriorate, the spinner comes into it. I think the way teams are going to play spin this year, with everyone wanting to get into the England Test team, and rightly so, there's no grey area now. You know how you've got to play if you want to play for England, and people are going to be looking to take him on and bring our seamers back quicker. And so therefore he's going to get opportunities to take wickets, which is and so his mindset's got to be about being an attacking spinner in both innings, rather than defensive spin in the first innings and attacking spin in the second innings. And I thought he bowled absolutely brilliantly. I mean, I thought his shape on the ball was excellent. He got good players out, and he thoroughly deserved his fifer.
Grant Flower yesterday was very open and honest, both about the guy's performance, but also about that particular umpiring decision. Is that openness and honesty something that you value in the dressing room? Is it the same when it comes to how he talks to the players directly?
Absolutely. I mean, we have very honest conversations with our players. One of the things we've talked about through pre-season is, that there's been a lot made of this being a very young team with a lot of potential. And I said right from the start, I'm not interested in potential. I'm interested in people who want to win games of cricket for Sussex. I haven't come here just to develop young players. I've come here because I want to win. And Grant is exactly the same as me. He's very direct, he's very straight and very honest. And the players really like that. And players, every player you talk to will always tell you, just tell me the truth. Tell me where I'm at, tell me where I stand, whether that's I'm in the first team and why I might be left out, second team, why I'm in the second team. But also we need to be honest with these players about their, how they're playing. So, someone that is in our team that wants to play for England Lions, wants to play for England, there's no point us massaging their ego and telling them that they're a good player, then they keep not getting picked for England. So we've got to tell them how they've got to get to that next level, how they've got to work harder, how they've got to practice harder, but how they've got to win games and score runs and take wickets. So, there's no point Grant and I and James Kirtley, just being nice to them all the time. We are nice to them, we are friendly with them, we do get on with them, we don't just shout at them, but we've got to be honest with them. And there's no point, as a coach, there's no point being anything other than honest and straight. And, Grant was absolutely right. His thoughts on how we played yesterday were absolutely spot on.
Finally, looking ahead to Bristol next week, there are some sort of murmurs that the ground might not be fit again after the abandonment against Yorkshire that Gloucestershire had. Is that something you're aware of? Have there been conversations?
I've not been party to any of that. So my focus has been purely on here and this ground. We're exceptionally lucky that we play on very good cricket pitches here at Hove. Ben and his team have been brilliant through pre-season, and the last game against Durham was an excellent cricket pitch. This one was a fraction slower, but it was still a good cricket pitch, and it made for a good game. It was set up nicely for a really good game. So what's happening at Bristol we can't control, and we'll turn up there Wednesday afternoon hopefully for practice and see what's happening.
And assuming you do get going, then after 2 games, a win and a draw, third in the table with a sort of game in hand on the early leaders, things are looking good 2 games into your tenure.
Yeah, I mean we've had what have we played? 7 days of cricket, haven't we? So it's probably a little bit early to be patting ourselves on the back at this stage. And look, we've talked openly about we want to get promoted. We want to be in the top division, and to do that we've got to win 8 of our 14 games. And that nothing's changed. We need to win 7 more. We've got 12 to go. Look, there's a lot of good teams in this division. There's a lot of good players in this division. And as I've already said, I expect Yorkshire and Durham to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. But we'd love to be up there fighting with them as well. And we think we've got the skill to do that. And we've just got to keep developing our team and keep developing our culture to give ourselves the best chance of being successful.